We left our heroes confronted with literally beasts brought to life by Shadowlock, the Cyclops of the Pony Sea, Frankenstein's monster, and one of Lovecraft's dark creatures. The whole library is getting turned upside down. The made-up stories for real life. Like Frankenstein's monster, which is actually afraid of fire, and the weird tentacle monster that drives whoever it touches crazy. Let's see how it will fare against Pinkie Pie. The fight is raging, and Twilight is having trouble with Shadowlock, who uses the distractions to erase more history. He wants to erase the record of the dangerous history, ignoring the saying of, "Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it." He doesn't want to hear it and unleashes some Martian ponies from a sci-fi book, keeping Twilight away to make his way out. She wants to follow, but the Martians overwhelm her. Everyone else is occupied too. There she struggles with a tentacle, while AJ tries to close one of the stories, which makes Twilight realize something. If she finished the books, maybe the creature stories would end and they would meet the fate they do in the stories. She tests her theory and quickly disposes of the Martians. Then Frankenstein's monster follows and gets frozen in place. Lovecraft's book ends with the monster breaking the ground open and disappearing. They may not have caught him, but they figured out his goal. They leave and leave the Cyclops and the librarian to clean up the mess. They scatter again to watch out for Shadowlock in other places, like the school, where he shortly appears after. He erases the history books and brings the maniac to life as a distraction, but once again gets away. Next is the newspaper, where Pinkie and Rarity check the archives for whatever Shadowlock wants to erase, only for them to be wiped 20 minutes later, and left with brought-back criminals out of the depths of past crimes. Twilight and Rainbow Dash go to a historic reenactment town to protect it from Shadowlock. They enjoy the time there, and we see a Scooby-Doo reference in a Velma pony, which we know from a different comic series. But even 12 hours later, nothing. Everything is fine, except the gift shop Twilight cleared out. They meet back up at the castle, nobody able to bring results, and worried for all the lost knowledge. Especially for the kids, who lost a year's worth of studying. But Twilight has one more plan to get him, in the Canterlot Museum. So now it's time for a stakeout to keep watch and keep the history safe. But someone is watching them, observing their plan. Inside, the proprietor is surprisingly willing to risk their artifacts for this plan. She also put the books into the archives to keep them safe. They take a look at the exhibits. We see cave ponies and knights fighting dragons. Long past times. Even a mummy. Not Pinkie's one, but an actual one later. For now, they are gonna get a bit of sleep. Later, a shadowy figure sneaks around the sleeping ponies. It's Shadowlock, using his magic once again, on the exhibits this time, before stepping into the archive, finding Twilight waiting for him. She was ready to stop him, but she doesn't want to fight, she wants to talk. Meanwhile, her friends ended up inside the stories they were protecting. Another new power, he can send someone into stories. I'm not sure if that only works with built exhibits or with every story, but it definitely is every nerd's dream. But we'll see if it's so dreamy for the ponies in the next issue of the story. The story was mostly a wild goose chase, trying everything they can to get Shadowlock, and I don't mind. We got to see some interesting places, like the colonial Winniesburg and the newspaper where Trenderhoof works at. I also like the implications of having a book like the Pony Sea. Like, do the Greek myths exist in a world that's ruled by godlike alicorns? It's fun to think about. The other books are cool too. Frankenstein, a Frankenstein story. And we just saw the monster again in G5. So I choose to believe that it's so timeless that it endured the split of the tribes. Not to mention the reference to Lovecraft's work. The pony world is more similar to ours than we often realize. But for now I want to hear your thoughts. Which of these books do you want to read? What story would you bring to life? And how will they defeat Shadowlock? Let me know, join my Discord if you want to discuss some more. Thanks to my supporters, especially to Maverick, and until next time for the Bronies, Bonifellas, and bye.